Disney Star Wars. It's like watching TV through a kaleidoscope, and every now and again they get it right and the picture comes into focus. But most of the time, it's a complete mess. But what I will say, before you hit the dislike button, and thank you all for making the previous 3 episodes of AHSOKA reviews my most disliked videos on my channel ever. Thanks for that, guys. Like I say, if you don't like it, let me know why. Let's talk about it. Anyway, they do get quite a bit right this week. Let's talk about it. Bonjour. So, yeah, controversial, eh? It actually makes sense. This episode opens up with some dialogue that actually makes sense. And it's AHSOKA discussing with Sabine the fact that when they find this map, they've got to destroy it because they know what's going on now. We've spent 3 episodes, haven't we, finding out what's going on. So now they know what's going on. Sabine's not happy because obviously she wants to get to Ezra Bridger at the end of the hyper drive, whatever it is they discovered. And she's right. This makes sense for AHSOKA to say that. You know that what the setup is because Sabine turns around and says, yeah, you know you can count on me. Well, no, I couldn't actually. You took the map. The reason the map is in their hands is because of you already. So unless you're going to totally redeem yourself, no, I can't count on you. I mean, no, I can't. The big thing with this issue. Sorry, I've got my comics here. Doing me review in a minute for this week, so apologies. This episode, as with all episodes of every single Star Wars series, is the dialogue. The dialogue in these shows is it's either unnecessary or atrocious. Most of the time, I think it's just unnecessary. A bit like when they're on the temple planet, the bad people planet, and one of them turns around and says, oh, be careful. And, you know, it could be a line of dialogue that exposes a character trait or something the character said before, and it could be a bit tongue-in-cheek. But it's just a deadline of talk that there's no meaning behind it. It doesn't give anything. It does nothing. And so they're stuck on the planet, and Wu-Tang's trying to repair their spaceship. But he senses when the Ray sends and the witch sends some people to go and sort them out because they found out that they're on the planet and they know where they are. The robot senses it first. There's AHSOKA upstairs with Sabine's looking for her handbag. I don't know whether she's looking for a lippy or what she's doing, or a lash brush or airbrush. They're upstairs gassing, going through their handbags, sorting, have a little sort out for their handbag, through their handbags for the next battle. And the robot's down there doing his best to repair things, but he senses something's going on. Oh, there's someone about, and he's looking around. And then they have a fight. This robot attacks. They've got one robot to take on Wu-Tang, and the rest of them aren't. Well, they didn't look like it anyway. I ain't going to watch it again. So if I got that one wrong, tough. And thanks to Tayters, I remembered the robots from years ago. You had one red one and one blue one, and they was in a boxing ring, and you kept pressing the button. This is when I was a kid, so we didn't have a lot to do then. And when you got a direct hit, the punch would hit, and I even forget what Tayters said now, crash them, smash them or something it was called. Anyway, I'll put a picture up. It just reminded me of that, the way they was punching each other, these two robots. I just don't know if I know it's Star Wars and we're supposed to believe in the robots, and I do like the Wu-Tang character. I do believe that is a truly very Star Wars like character, that in the vein of C3PO, obviously. I'm not so sure about robots fighting in the way they are. I don't know what a robot would achieve fighting another robot. Like, you punch him in the jaw, what's that going to do? There must be receptors somewhere that would be different, and they must be protected. Are they protected in the head or in the middle of the... I don't know. Anyway, I am overthinking it. This is Star Wars, so we won't go there. I apologise for that ramble. But somehow the robot fights just didn't look right. They're upstairs with their handbags. They can't hear a thing. So AHSOKA doesn't even sense that something's wrong. They can't even hear these two robots. They're smashing into each other. He's trying to smash the ship as well. Then he goes, help. Oh, now they can hear that. They can hear him saying, help, oh Wu-Tang. And they rush down. Anyway, do away with them all. That was easy, wasn't it? Barely an inconvenience. And now they're running off. So at least we are getting some urgency. And I will say, I will admit, in this episode, at least there is some sense, there's some tension because they've got the map and they want to get it. There's drama. There's high stakes. So I will say that in this episode, it is a big step up. Star Wars still got a lot of steps ahead of them. A bit, well, they're not even on the first 10 steps of the pyramid from Ace Ventura 2. So they've got a long way to go yet. But this is a step up. This is a step up. So we're back at the temple for, more doom and, all the rest of it. And they've aimed the thing, the witch and all that. And these scenes are, like I said from the beginning, I've got to say, these scenes are all done well. The staging of them's done well. The acting goes up a notch. Thanks in large part to Ray, and he's such an imposing, and you see him more because obviously he's got a bit of fighting to do in this scene, in this episode. But he's got a lot more to do, but you can see what an imposing figure he is, especially in the fight with AHSOKA, and you just know that AHSOKA, bless her, she's brave. I'll give her that. And then, so Sabine and AHSOKA have gone running off. Old Ray says, right, we know the minions aren't going to be able to sort them out. Used to go. Old Blondie and Bollock. So off they run and there's a showdown. And again, it's nicely done. There's a bit of tension there. The moment where they stop running and them two, reveal them two, they're in that dark forest and it's not, grey or nighttime, whatever it is, perpetual night on this planet. Because we need that for the doom and gloom, which I don't mind. And I like the way they've designed that. The red, like that red rusty trees, leaves, colour and all that. I like it all. And the temple, everything. But they have to spoil it with another unnecessary line of dialogue. So set up a nice bit of tension. We know that these two are the bad guys. We know that these two are the good guys. What do you want them to say? Like, we're going to get you. No, Blondie steps down and says, going somewhere? It's like a line out of a 1960s Bond film, isn't it? What a Bond villain would say. I mean, come on, it's the 21st century now. Well, like I say, so unnecessary. Wu-Tang tells them both to work together because it always works better. He says to them, and they go, yeah, you're right. They have this fight. Old Bollock turns to dust, which was a good... He got the old sabre going round and AHSOKA just, she gets her eye right in and just goes, ew. So that was all well done. And it's all in the kind of that perpetual darkness. So I've got to say, it didn't highlight Rosario Dawson's lack of athletic ability. So I've got to say that this fight and the one before it at the ship, they just all cracked off pretty decently, actually. And again, see, everyone, I'm praising it where it's due. Definitely not the dialogue. Definitely not the dialogue. So AHSOKA's got Bollock, and now they're Sabine. Why Blondie run off at the beginning because at the beginning of the showdown, old Sabine gets her gun out, starts shooting at Blondie, and she runs off. Why did you do that? No, you've beaten her, you've gutted her once, and you know she's just started her training. Like, she's not in Jedi. You must know, if you're a Jedi apprentice, you must know she hasn't got any power. So why are you running? You've just gone like that with your lightsaber to deflect. Now take 2 steps forward and do it again. Oh, anyway, she has to run off because she has to, doesn't she? We have to put some space between the two so we can film that scene and oh, God. Anyway, so what do? They split up. Sabine says she's got her lightsaber and she goes to AHSOKA, go get the map. Now, why should we tell her to do that? Because she doesn't really want to destroy the map. So that doesn't make sense either. But they have to say something, don't they? Go get the map isn't what you'd be saying. Sabine would be saying, hold tight, give me a hand here and we can both get the map because I don't really want to destroy it and I might be able to talk you out of it. That's what she should have said. No. She has to go that way. And Sabine cops it. With Blondie. Blondie's on the floor. And actually, I can't remember what happens now. Does Sabine... Yeah, Sabine gets the upper hand, I think. She pretends she's using the force. That was it. She pretends she's using the force. I had a moment then. Which was quite nicely done. She pretends she's using the force, but just goes pew. Anyway, so she goes and legs it after AHSOKA. So AHSOKA turns up, and do you know what? The fight is half decent, but the dialogue is so cringy. The dialogue that Ray Stevenson's given, and AHSOKA, and if she delivers her dialogue any slower, it would put you to sleep. I'll tell you what, if you had insomnia, get Rosario Dawson to read you an AHSOKA audiobook in her voice. Oh my God, you'd be off in 2 minutes. And it's because she's overdoing it, overacting the stoic Jedi, that every line is a piece of gold. It's like not every line every Jedi says is supposed to be a proverb. You can just chat. Say, I want a cup of tea. You haven't got to talk about, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, let's keep it. Why, I don't know. Ray has the upper hand in all this. He's protecting the map because it's downloading the last coordinates. The witch has gone up to the main ship. And AHSOKA's trying to get it. But suddenly, because the plot needs it, she suddenly gets the upper hand. And the resolution of this episode could have still happened. And a big spoiler, by the way. Big spoiler if you... and like I said last week and the week before, I can't imagine anyone watching my reviews that hasn't watched, especially episode 4. What are you going to do? Jump into episode 4. But I will spoil you about a major spoiler at the end. But somehow AHSOKA gets the upper hand and Ray's on the floor. She just gets a burst of strength. And it doesn't make sense. And again, it was unnecessary. This could have all been accomplished. And what it was designed to do was put the map into the hands of Sabine, who's got to the temple. That's all this was designed to do. It could have been done a lot more elegantly than that, I believe. Even if they finished downloading the coordinates and the ball just dropped and Sabine arrives and them two are still fighting. And when Ray sends AHSOKA off the cliff, he turns around and she's holding the ball. Because nothing's like going to happen in that minute. Just have the map downloaded. But no, they had to prolong it. They had to have AHSOKA cut off the signal by nicking it and burning her hand, which was all, listen, it was all accomplished. It was all accomplished nicely, I suppose, but just unnecessary. This is why this is the best episode of the 4. But really, this should have been, the end of episode 2? They've just let Filoni ramble on and on and on, like I do in these videos, to be fair, before you say it or think it. Anyway, Hera turns up, and why the hell she's brought her kid along? That's not good parenting, because they could have been one of the ships that blow up as the ring goes off into space, into hyperspace. So a bit risky there, Hera. I've got to say, taking your kid onto an attack like that, an illegal attack that hasn't been sanctioned. Actually, when she's discussing with one of the blokes back on the ship, here I just remembered this little bit, and he's going, well, this hasn't been agreed, like, what are you doing? And she goes, oh, I'm just, do what I want, kind of thing. And he goes, well, what do I say if I'm asked? She goes, turns around to this guy and says, oh, just say something. And then the bloke is standing there going, something. Oh dear. Again, I don't know if he's a relative of one of the producers or whatever, but they've given him these lines to say, but he says something 2 or 3 times. Absolutely no need for it. All it should have been was a close-up look on his face going, oh yeah, thanks for that. That's all it needed. Not saying thanks, just the look. Oh right, yeah, nice one. Or just going like that. Thanks a lot, dropping me in it. Fucking hell. Anyway, but as you can see, those moments are few and far between. It's mostly the dialogue so clunky. The only, just where it don't. Sabine has got a gun. She's shooting the gun when she picks up the map. She's got a gun, shooting it at Ray. Ray's just sent AHSOKA off the cliff, and Ray's going like that, pew 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 with his lightsaber. And she runs out of bullets, but then, as Tayters, I discussed this with Tayters before filming it, he said, like, oh, she had one more bullet left in the chamber. She must have done. She must have known. Because she's gone click, click, and then she's gone like that. And Ray's gone, oh, yeah, I destroyed a map. What followed, though, was a very well done, and it's all credit, 100% credit to Ray Stevenson. It's definitely no credit to the dialogue, but you felt heads and shoulders, not literally and metaphorically speaking, he is with his acting talent. Because the seduction scene, and this is something else that Tayters, my girlfriend Tayters from the Hogcasts, if you don't know, check him out, because he is the Star Wars guru. He did predict that they're going to try and entice Sabine Wren to the dark side. So well done with that, Tayters. You were spot on with that one. But the seduction was done very nicely. That's pure Star Wars, that. Talking and, come over to the dark. And this was set up so nicely at the beginning of this episode. Well, Tayters was spotting things at the beginning of the series. But for me, it makes it a complete episode. These bookends. The fact that you've set this up at the beginning, I loved it for that. There's still a lot to laugh about. And at the end of the episode, she's in Jedi heaven now. Now, I know you super fans know where she is and what she's doing and all that. I haven't got a clue. Tayters have told me. I've got to admit, I've got to say I don't care. I was doing so well, wasn't I? Doing so well talking this show up. I literally don't care. But if this series carries on in this vein, if it improves, then we might get somewhere by the last episode. And on that note, I've been far too positive. Yeah, so your dislikes, you better have held on till now, and you better give me a like and you better give me a comment. Not that I've done it just for you. I'll say it as I see it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, this review. Thank you, as always. If you are liking, thank you. If you're commenting, love you. And if you're subscribing or doing all 3, you know how sexy I think you all are. And I love you for that. And please carry on doing it. I do appreciate it so much. And it does give you a little bit of impetus to get going, even the dislikes. Because what I would like to do is discuss it, like I've always said. So please, come and get it. And until next week, Yes, I'm going to do it all again next week. There's no escaping. Well, there is. You don't have to click on it, do you? Adios.